Hello, everyone. Hi, Lena. Hi, friends. Welcome. Today, we are making something delicious here at Homemade, and we are so excited that you are all here. My name is Chef Jenny, and I am going to be your tour guide into delicious Boozy caramel custard. How good does that sound? Sign me up. All Boozy caramel custard, good. All my favorite things, yes. Of course, I'm not here by myself. I've got really the person in charge, the most amazing Chef Meg. Hello, Chef Meg.
Hello. Such a treat to be sitting at a counter while someone makes custard.
Makes Boozy custard. Yeah. I feel like that's an important part of the puzzle, Boozy custard. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, you just sit there. This is all going to happen, and then at the end, we'll just, dinner. I feel like, listen, I know we're attending a lot of graduations, a lot of end of school events, lots of stuff's going on. It's okay to have caramel custard for dinner. I'm just going to say it. Like, whatever we need to do to get through the week, everyone, all right? We want to thank our friends. It's always better when we cook with friends. Our incredible friends at Savor are making today's class possible. We have been longtime partners with them and done some amazing classes. My personal favorite was holiday cannolis, of course. And that's part of this wonderful Around the World series that we're doing with them. So that's why we are featuring a recipe today from Peru, from Lima specifically. So the name we gave you was Boozy caramel custard, but it's more authentically known as Suspiro Limeño. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It roughly translates to sigh of a woman from Lima. What a romantic name of a dessert. Check that out. Sigh of a woman from Lima. Love it. Basically, we're kind of making a caramel pudding or a caramel pastry cream. And then we are going to make a beautiful meringue and add a little bit of port wine to it. And that port wine is the boozy part. So you're going to have this really beautiful kind of sweet little acidic tang meringue to cut with this really delicious, rich custard. Yum. It's a great dessert, a great one to have in your arsenal. So I'm ready. I think we're going to get going. As always, if you're new to Homemade, welcome. We encourage you to share your cameras with us so I can see your beautiful faces. And then if you have any questions, please interact with Chef Meg. She'll let me know. We love to interact with you live, and we'll talk to you live. Any other questions, please throw them in the chat. We do want to direct you before you start to our wonderful friends, Savor's website. It's savorrecipes.com, and you can find them on social at Savor Recipes. So if you make this recipe, please tag them, but definitely check out their website because they've got some great recipes on there. So, ready? We all ready? We good? Let's get it started. I mean, caramel, let's start. Enough talking. So, I've got a high-sided pan here. And like, if we're going to use nonstick, I think that's really easy when we're cooking dairy, cooking caramel. It really helps to have a little nonstick if you've got one. We're going to start making our caramel flavor base. So I've just got some granulated sugar in here and a little bit of water. Don't panic, because when you first add this in, it definitely looks like there should be way more water. When you make caramel from scratch, you do not want to add too much water because the sugar really will kind of inhibit it the time it starts caramelizing because you have to evaporate all that water off. And the sugar immediately starts to dissolve in it. I don't have my heat on yet. I'm just going to give it a gentle stir. Try to avoid getting a ton of sugar on the sides of the pan. Little rogue granules of sugar can actually start crystallizing it. And then it can crystallize your whole caramel, and then it's a whole thing. Has anyone crystallized sugar before? I've thousands of times. I don't know. You, Chef Meg, making caramel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have to. You're not really cooking unless you've caramelized sugar. One of the most heartbreaking things to ever watch is on Great British Baking, when someone has to make a caramel sauce and they're just panicking and they make it like 4 times in a row because they keep crystallizing. It's almost too triggering to watch, because that's definitely me during a a pastry school technical of where the chefs are walking around and then just a giant, you're making rock candy. It mostly only happens if people are watching you.
That's what I was going to say.
That's right. It never happens when you have all the time in the world in your home. It's always when you're in a rush. So, a couple tricks to prevent our sugar from caramelizing. I've got it on about medium-high heat here. We're going to evaporate the water, and what we're going to get to is a nice amber caramel color. If you stir, if you agitate, that actually kind of wakes up and encourages all the little sugar crystals from sticking together, and that's what's going to cause crystallization and actually like almost like you're making rock candy. So the trick is we don't want to agitate or stir. We stirred beginning, got it there, and now we're just heating it up and going to get that color. A little trick, keeping a pastry brush with a little water on the side. If you see any little sugar crystals forming on the side, just sticking a little water on them and kind of pushing them back down with that water helps get them back in and prevent crystallization. Another thing is acid. We've got here a lemon because we're going to add in a little bit of lemon juice later, or lemon zest later for flavoring. We got the lemon, let's add a little juice. The acid will actually prevent some of the crystallization. And another trick, if you've made this 3 times in a row and you're just done, and I understand just being done, I've been there many times. If you add a touch of a syrup sugar, what's a syrup sugar? So maple syrup, honey, most commonly, because it won't add a ton of flavor, is corn syrup. If you've got some corn syrup around, those are invert sugars. In my nerdy world of food science, they're in this class called invert sugars. Basically just a sugar syrup. Sugar syrup will help prevent crystallization. So it's a little trick. I mean, at home, every time I add a little dollop of corn syrup in there just because I can't be bothered. I will have them, it takes me right back to pastry school. Hi friends, wonderful to see you. It takes me right back to pastry school where just I have rock sugar and I'm panicking and I'm flop sweating. So I always add a dollop of corn syrup in there. So you can see it's starting to come to a bubble. We're doing all right. We're doing okay. So as this goes, I just want to talk about my dairy over here. I have whole milk and I have heavy cream. This is not the time. Come a little closer. Let's talk. I'm all for like using low-fat recipes and trying to work with them at home. I definitely trying to be more mindful of food. Very much all about that. This is neither the time nor the place for anything other than whole milk and heavy cream. That's what we want, all the fat. If I was going to get a face tattoo, it would be all the fat. All the fat is a core belief in my house, all the fat. So in pastry, when you get that really incredible mouthfeel, in a baked good, in a pudding, in a cream, it's because of that fat balance. So for something like this isn't a place where you want to cheap out, because what's going to happen with the fat, if you get lower fat, you're going to get more water, and it's going to be a little looser. So we want whole milk, and we want heavy cream. You know what's great about this? With these 2 ingredients, there's no way this is going to taste bad. It's buying yourself an insurance policy by getting the whole milk and heavy cream. So we're in a good spot here. All right, so just as this is coming, you'll see as we start doing this, you might get a little reminded of dulce de leche or cajeta. Those are 2 different types of caramelized milk products in especially Latin American cooking. Cajeta is more made with goat's milk. I feel like the flavor difference might be a little tangier and a little more savory. Dulce de leche is a very common flavor profile. Both are just kind of caramelized milk profiles, and you can buy them canned. But for this recipe, we actually want it taken down just below having that fully condensed caramel, thick caramel. I see the cutest cat in the world right now, and all I want to do is I wish he was here with the little chef's hat on. That's all I'm going to say, and then we're going to move on. I love when you guys share your pets with us. It's the best. So you could say, why don't I just buy dulce de leche or cajeta and use that canned? It's because we actually want the ratios to be a little thinner. So that's why we're using whole milk and heavy cream. So we've got this guy going on, still looking good, amazing, so happy right now. This is kind of like toasting nuts or warming bread in the oven. If you're looking at it and it's taking forever, and if you walk away, what's going to happen is that the second you walk away, this is going to brown really quickly and then burn, and you're going to have to start over again. So we're just going to hang out and keep cool and enjoy our time. Once this is caramelized, we're going to add our whole milk and our heavy cream and then a little bit of flavoring. We have a cinnamon stick. We're going to plop it in. We're going to strain it out later. And then we have that lemon I was talking about. I've just got my little Y vegetable peeler. Just one nice zesty pull of a strip of citrus. Ooh, that was a good one. You see that? Nice little strip. Try to avoid the white part. The white's the pith, and that's the bitter part. We just want that outer zest. So we're going to have a little bit of lemon, a little bit of cinnamon, and then the really rich caramel flavor. I mean, again, how is it? There's no way this is going to be bad. Good stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and look around my pot, see if there's any sugar spots, little crystallization spots that I should get. We should all probably know this, but I'm going to say it just because it's very important. Hot sugar burns so bad. It burns really intensely. So it's really a little insurance policy is to get a high-sided pan so that it's not coming right to the brim. If it splatters, it can really burn your skin. You want to make sure you try to get that off as soon as possible. Pastry school, I looked like I was tatted up on my forearms because it was just caramel burns. And the hot side of the pan burns when you're leaning over those. Everything. I mean, this is, a lady never reveals, right? This is some years past pastry school, everyone, and it's still, those are kind of there. So just be very careful. We could get a top down. Do you see the color starting to happen? I'm going to gently swirl. I don't want to agitate too much. And then once this starts to get a little caramelly and we're looking for our amber color, I'm going to turn off my heat, remove it from the heat because I kind of want to stop the cooking right now. I am going to very gently add in my dairy. Now here's the trick. Warm this up before you add it in. Don't add ice cold dairy straight from the fridge because what's going to happen, it's going to foam up. So we're going to add just a little bit. And the colder it is, the more it's going to foam. Do you see how much it's foaming just from that little bit? It's because it's kind of going in shock from that heat difference. So it can really splatter if you don't gently add this in. And now that's kind of tempered. I'm adding a little more. Yes, Chef Meg.
Just gonna say also, like, don't get your face too close over it because I've definitely steamed my face up a little bit while making caramel.
We've got glasses.
Yeah.
All the greatest cool people do. We've got glasses, and that's definitely a spot where you could get a full steam in there. What a way to go out if I just got caramel all over my face live on. That is, why am I putting that out there? Knock on wood. What a show that would be. All right. So if you could see here, it's kind of clumped. If we could get a little top down. It's a little clumped on my whisk, the caramel. That's fine. Don't stress. As we heat this up, it's all going to melt in. And then we're going to have this delicious caramel custardy base in this milk. So this is where I'm going to add now that the foam party's over. I'm going to add in that little bit of cinnamon and I'm going to add in my lemon, and that's going to be my flavoring. We are going to add vanilla to this, but because we're using a paste or extract, especially extract because it's alcohol, if you add it to a hot liquid, that alcohol is going to evaporate and you're going to lose some of your flavor. Kind of if you've ever done candy making, they always say, if you've ever wondered, a lot of times in candy recipes, baking recipes, they'll say add the vanilla right at the end. That's the reason why, because alcohol can evaporate really fast and you can lose some of your flavor. If you're lucky enough to have some vanilla beans at home, which is such a flex in this economy, well done if you do. If you've got vanilla bean, a scraped vanilla bean in here with the seeds and then the vanilla pods simmering away is great, because you don't need to do extract then. That will really infuse this caramel that way. But I remember in pastry school or at some restaurants I worked at where they have the large order of vanilla beans, and it's like seeing a gold bar in person. You're like, oh my gosh, look at this. Those are not cheap. That and saffron, I'm always just like, oh, you can buy it this large? This is amazing. So mixing now. If you can see top down here on my whisk, we still got a few bits of those caramel left. Don't worry. Patience. That's going to come off. We're just going to bring this up to our simmer. Now, once we add our milk and our dairy, you don't want to scald dairy. So we're bringing this up to a simmer. We are not boiling this at a rapid heat. Okay, how are we doing, everyone? Do we have any questions at this point? Chef Meg, tell me how the people are. What we got going on out there?
We're just talking about how much we love butter and heavy cream and all those sorts of things.
Do we know that you can make butter at home? This is a legit thing you do. If you've ever whipped cream and tried to do whipped cream in the mixer and walked away and come back and it went too long, you have butter. That was a mind-blowing moment when I realized all butter is whipped up heavy cream. I'm like, wait, what? And then vice versa, I'm like, heavy cream's just unwhipped butter. And then I was like, oh, I don't know why somehow in my mind, heavy whipped cream was somehow healthier than butter. It's just the same thing.
I would think that too.
I mean,
well, okay, so butter
maybe because I have it at breakfast all the time. Wherever I can order whipped cream and waffles, I do it.
I do have a question actually about the custard. If your sugar, while you're pouring in the milk, if your sugar seizes, like if your caramel seizes up, you can just keep stirring.
Just keep going.
That,
my
right?
caramel seized. That's totally what those hardened clumps were on my whisk. Keep going. It's gonna melt into the caramel. It's okay. There's gonna be a point where you panic and you think it's not gonna be okay, and you're gonna want to start over. Don't. I promise you that it's gonna be okay. So we're just now, this is beautifully getting infused with our cinnamon and our lemon. If you're lucky enough to have a little vanilla pod in there, that vanilla is going through. I thought of one of my former classmates from the CIA, and that stands for Culinary Institute of America. I'm not a spy. I would never be able to pull it off. I can't keep a secret, and I talk way too much. I would reveal everything within 30 minutes of knowing. CIA stands for Culinary Institute of America. Chef Joel went there as well. One of my classmates was from Lima. And so this is a Peruvian dessert, and I definitely thought of her today because she introduced me to some of the most incredible Peruvian food. She would cook for us all the time and share it. Definitely my favorite out of all of that was pisco sours. If you've ever had a pisco sour, it's an incredible cocktail. Treat yourself if you see it on a menu. But lots of beautiful dishes she would make for us. I love South American food. I just love food. I love all the food. But I definitely love Peruvian food is really, really good. And that's the one thing I haven't found in Seattle yet, because I was really spoiled and had a great Peruvian chicken place less than a mile from my house and in California. And now here I'm searching for my Peruvian chicken joint. Good food, just the best. Yuca fries, amazing, delicious, 10 out of 10. Empanadas, 100%, all the good stuff.
I love the ají peppers. you had.
Yeah, a delicious pepper profile, that the ají peppers, AJI, but it's hard to find in the store. Sometimes it's a bright yellow paste. You can get the paste of it sometimes, but make incredible sauces with it and marinades. That is on my list. Have you been to Peru, Chef Meg?
No, I haven't. I would love to, though.
I haven't either. If anyone watching wants to sponsor a culinary trip for Chef Meg and I, reach out. We're there. 100%. We are there.
We'll make TikToks or something.
Yeah, whatever you want us to do, we'll do it to pay you back for it. Other than cash, that we don't have, but we will 100% send you photos. I think that's a fair deal. It smells so good. All right. Shall we do the dreaded, which shouldn't be dreaded. You know what? We're going to change. I'm going to be egg separating PR manager right now. We are going to change this. We are going to change the idea of that. This is like, oh, I have to go separate a bunch of eggs. We're going to have some fun with this. Separating eggs. Okay, so we're gonna add some egg yolks in here. We're actually gonna temper it in, which means we're gonna add a little bit of this hot liquid to the egg yolks out of the pan, slowly raise up the temperature of the egg yolks. That way they won't get shocked when we add them in here and immediately seize and turn into scrambled eggs. Caramel scrambled eggs, not the best thing. Have I maybe eaten a few scoops of pastry cream that curdled and had to do it again? Yeah, I'm a human being. I have. It's pastry cream. It's delicious, but it's not really caramel scrambled eggs. Not really what we're going for here. So thankfully, we're using the whites from this recipe for this meringue topping that we're making. So we're using everything. We just need to separate them. So separating egg whites. I know this can egg whites and egg yolks. Really, it's not as a big deal for the yolks. It's more about the whites. The reason is if you get any little bit of fat into the white won't whip up because that fat acts like an oil slick. So as you're trying to whisk up your whites, it won't do it. Trust me, because I've tried to ignore science and everything I've ever been taught and tried to fight this. When I see a little bit of yolk in there, I'm like, I'm sure it'll be fine. It can mix for half an hour. It won't do it. It's so annoying. So I've already got 2 yolks in here. You're gonna want to go ahead and crack your egg and do your white. If you have a bunch of whites right here in your white pile. Let's do it right here. Here's all my whites. The temptation might be to go ahead and get the whites right out here. It is the law of nature that the last white you try to do will be the one that has yolk in it, and then it poisons the rest of the perfectly clean whites that you already have. It's just how it goes. So I have to remind myself, don't get too arrogant. I can't do it. You have to go one at a time. That way, if you get some of the yolk in the white, you're only spoiling one white. You're not spoiling the big bowl. I've done that after I've separated like 20 eggs, and it's the last one. You make that mistake once. So there's no straight answer. Some people do the side, some people do this. I've read those culinary science journals where they've done thousands of eggs to try to figure out. Kind of is a toss in the air which one actually gives you give you a cleaner crack. You do you. For me, I always like doing a little flat and then gently taking it apart. There's my whites. Has anyone actually tried the social media trick of using a water bottle to suck out the yolk? I have seen that. I have not done it. I don't know if it's lies or if it actually works, but I'm teaching, in case you don't have water bottles constantly lying around, I'm teaching you the old school way of, there we go. Clean, got this guy. If you use your hands, which there's nothing, I'm a chef, it's all about clean hands are great tools. But if you have any residual fat on your hand and you try to separate by hand, some of that fat might get in the yolks. So just make sure or in the whites. Just make sure your hands are really, really clean if you try to do that. So we've got our 3 yolks here and our whites that are hopefully beautifully perfect clean. I guess we'll see when I try to whip these up. That is a huge fear on live camera here, trying to whip. We could be here for 20 minutes. I'm like, it's not working, guys. Yes, Chef Meg.
How do you feel about using the egg whites from a carton for a meringue?
Using store-bought egg whites, is that what you said?
Yeah, like the cartons.
100%. So a lot of people will say, I've read stuff that says they don't whip up as well. But I will tell you, I like them because you can get them pasteurized. So if you have any immune compromised people in your life, anyone who can't have raw eggs, the carton eggs always make sure to read to make sure it says pasteurized, but you can buy them pasteurized. So that's how I actually like to prefer for some recipes like that. We're going to heat treat these here, but if you're doing a style meringue that's not cooked, that's something to think about. Because I've done wedding cakes before, I've used the box whites. Honestly, I've never had an issue with them mixing up. So I guess you just kind of go on your personal anecdotal experience here. For me, I've never had any issues with it. They've always whipped up fine for me. So that is one of those things. I also find that it's kind of the opposite of heavy cream. Room temperature whites that have sat out for like 20 minutes that aren't ice cold actually whip up a little bit easier. So in my personal experience, that's what I found. I used to teach macaron classes, so many egg whites, just so many egg whites, so many. Okay, I've got here, now we are deviating from the recipe a skosh, just because the way we thicken up this custard is by slowly heating it up with these egg whites, and those egg whites tighten and coagulate, and you get a thicker sauce. We figured you didn't want to watch me do this for 40 minutes, so we're going to add a little cornstarch just like you would with pastry cream. So it's almost like we're using the pastry cream step. So I'm actually going to just whisk in a little bit of cornstarch into my yolks and mix this in here. And this is now where we're going to do the part called tempering. Tempering is 1 scoop at a time. Just bringing this up slowly to temperature. We don't necessarily have to add the whole thing in. I have a ladle right here. We're just going to do 1 scoop at a time. My little trick for have you ever tried, because I'm right-handed, so I have to use my right hand to pour the ladle. How do I do this with whisking with my bowl and my bowl not going everywhere? Wet kitchen towel. Twist it up in a circle and just put my bowl on top. And now as I whisk one-handed, there you go. Try not to be deceived by late night TV that you need a specialty tool for this. You can just use a wet kitchen towel. It works just as good. So 1 scoop at a time. If you add too much hot liquid, you can scramble your eggs. So just bringing them up to temperature. There we go. Let's add a little more in here. And then our cornstarch is actually heat activated. So we're gonna have to bring this up to a little bit of simmer for all of this to go. But we're gonna do a little slow simmer, evaporate some of the water out of the dairy, and then get a really nice thick custard after this. In case if you're wondering, how do you make ice cream from scratch? That's this. What we've just made here pretty much is a caramel creme anglaise. And the base for ice cream is creme anglaise. So kind of 1 recipe technique and you got all the stuff you need. And now I can add this back into here. And I'm not gonna get all the scrambled eggs. And now we can turn on our heat. about medium heat. Just keep an eye on it. It shouldn't be at a roiling boil. Again, even though we have the cornstarch in there, even though we tempered our eggs, we still don't want to get you had burned milk? Do you know that flavor, that kind of scalding? We don't want to get that. And by that time, if we're at that stage, it also means that we are going to have a little bit of scrambled egg situation. We've got this. My cinnamon sticks having a party in there. That's okay. And now I've got an ice bath here. That just means I have a bowl of ice water and another bowl on top. Simple as that. I've got a strainer. Into the bottom of the bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add in, we are using vanilla bean paste, which is one of my favorites. Niels & Maisley is my favorite brand of vanilla bean paste. It's incredible. Instead of the alcohol carrier, it's kind of in a sugar paste, and it actually has the seeds in it. So this way I actually get the seeds. It's a 1-for-1. So if a recipe calls for a teaspoon of extract, you would just use a teaspoon of paste. I love vanilla bean paste. Chef Meg, what did I give everyone for their holiday presents last year here at Homemade?
Vanilla bean paste.
Vanilla bean paste. It's my love language.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Have you used the vanilla bean paste?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
All the time.
I like to put it in cocktails.
Chef Meg. Oh my. What kind of cocktails are you making?
Like a little bit in a margarita or like a whiskey sour. Pisco sour would be really good.
Yeah. That's what we need is vanilla bean pisco sours to go along with this. Ooh. We're definitely not going to do that after the camera stop, guys. Don't be silly. Come on now. All right. Ooh, that sounds really good. So now I'm just going to stir this. Again, this is a time when you don't want to walk away because we're wanting to evaporate that water and thicken it up. The goal is that it's really thick enough to coat the back of the spoon. And we'll get this going here. Yum. We are going to strain it because, look, coagulation happens. It's no one's fault. You cannot defy the laws of science. When you've got protein, and that's the egg in there, and you've got heat, you're just going to get some scrambles. That's okay. We're trying to avoid a giant scrambled egg clump, but you're going to get little lumps, and there's no problem with that. That's why we're going to strain it. Also, it's still edible. Like, I'm going to eat it. It's just we want to try to minimize it as much we can. And you see it thickening up? That's because of the cornstarch. Going low and slow without it would probably be, you want to go about 20 minutes. We want it enough water to evaporate off that's really thick. Yeah. Can I just say, it smells like the best caramel in here because the cinnamon stick and the lemon.
Does it smell like the sigh of a woman from Lima?
I'm going to say yes. Not being to Peru myself, but I feel it does. And by the way, the story is, I hope this is true, is that the woman who created the dessert, her husband was a poet, and when he tasted it, that's what he named it, was that because it tasted like the sigh of a woman from Lima. And Chef Meg and I were saying that really ups the romance game for the rest of us, because that is, my goodness, what a line. And then we got into discussion of what's your romance language now? And I said it's when someone sees that there's towels in the dryer, takes them out, folds them, and put them away. Hubba hubba, oh my gosh. Yes, Debbie, yes. Special attention if it's done in the trifold that I like, that looks so presentable for guests. Better than roses, keep your diamonds. This is my love language. Yes.
Yeah, such a good point about the trifold. That's what I like to see as well.
Yeah, a regular square fold, fine. But the 1, 2, 3, my God, weak in the knees, stop it. Oh my gosh. What's your love language?
Yeah, I have a romantic thing that happened. My partner cleaned my car. The inside of it.
acts of service. Yes. Have they named a dessert after us? No. Is it increasing the quality of our life? 1,000%. Oh, cleaning the cars are really, because you got to get the wipes, you've got to get the vacuum. You're actually unhooking the floor mats if it's done right.
Throwing away the seltzer cans. Yeah.
It's a keeper. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Throwing away your carbonated soda cans is real love. That's the quality of act there. Oh, you guys, throw it in the chat. What are your love languages? What's your modern day poet spouse naming a dessert after you? The sigh of a woman from Lima. Let us hear it. Okay, do we see how thick this is now? Can I show you what we're looking for? Top down, you see that on the spoon? Scrape, do you see that? That's when you see in a recipe, it says scrapes the back with the spoon. That's what we mean. All of this isn't going to fill in the sides. It's holding the scrape. So that's how we know this custard is thick enough. That's what we're looking for. I completely understand. That's really confusing when you read that. What does scraping the back of a spoon mean? That's what that means. So we're going to pour this into our strainer. And then it gets any coagulants that might have gotten in there. It's also taking out our cinnamon stick and our lemon peel. And just in case you didn't know, just take your spoon, and also you can hit it on the side, and that'll get the party going here. Oh, it smells incredible. It smells so good. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. I almost want to do like a hybrid dessert and fill profiteroles with this. I feel like that would be incredible filling for profiteroles. Oh, we're just talking here. So we have to make vanilla bean pisco sours after this, and then we have to make profiteroles. It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a late one. Burning the midnight oil. Okay, putting this over here. Beautiful. And then mix this in our ice bath with our vanilla. So commonly this is served in individual glasses. If you don't, you need serious fridge space for that if you're entertaining. You want to do that. If you don't have that right now, that's okay. What you can also do is especially if you're serving for a party, just put it in a big serving dish like this. And this needs to chill. So my ice bath is actually quickly dropping its temperature. It's going to thicken even more as it cools. And I can see the streaks of all the vanilla beans in here. It looks beautiful. And just because, this is the stage where we see, okay, how's the flavor? What do we need? A little bit of this. No notes. Pretty good. 10 out of 10. I'm really happy. It's good stuff. Caramel, heavy cream, whole milk, lemon, cinnamon. Ooh, that's divine. If you want, because caramel and salt go so well together, if you want to add a little pinch of salt in here, you can. Why not? Let's do it. Let's have a party. Salt's a natural flavor enhancer too. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could also add it to the custard and melt in when it's in the pot. It's so glossy and sheeny. Nice little sheen on it. I don't know if sheeny is a word. I might have just made that up. Sheen adjacent.
Shiny?
But
is
I
it
like
different
the
from
sheeny.
sheeny?
I do feel like shine and sheen are different. Don't ask me to explain it. I have no case to back this up. It's more of a gut feeling. All right, I'm gonna pour this in here. Chef Meg, do we have any responses about modern day romance?
Oh my gosh.
Tell me.
There was a really good one, which I would love, is someone's husband brings them coffee in bed every morning.
Oh, that's good. Well done, yes, that is good. To just have coffee appear.
Yeah, hot beverage of your choice.
A hot beverage of your choice at pairing to get you up in the morning. That's a good one. Well done. I like this game. This is good. This is what we don't need, the dozen roses and all that. This is what it's about.
Making dinner and having someone clean up after as well. Both of them.
Just destroying a kitchen and then walking away. Amazing. Amazing. Good stuff. Well, I like what we got out there, everyone. And my husband definitely does that. And Matt was like, oh, I got to hold on to this one. And there's not a wrong or right way to load the dishwasher. There's not. But there is. And he did it the right way. That's when I was like, ooh, I got to marry this one. This is a keeper. All right, you see that? Can we do a little top down? See, it's got a little jiggle to it, but it's definitely firmed up and it's going to firm up in the fridge. So this is if you want to serve it in a party. We're going to bust out our individual ones so you can see. I'm going to put this guy over here. We're going to put this guy in the fridge. And then, delicious. Going to have ourselves, great to make the night before. You want to make this the night before you're having a barbecue, you're having people over, just for yourself. No need to have a special event for this. Okay. Turning on some water here. Now we're going to make the meringue. So we're utilizing the whites left over from our yolks. There's Pastry School 101. There's a couple different meringues out there. Not all meringues are made equal. Always egg whites and sugar, but the first one that is the least stable, that's kind of just a fluffy pot of goodness, is French meringue. That's just whipping up our egg whites and our sugar. No heat. Swiss meringue is when you actually take your bowl and put it in a double boil. You don't want the bottom touching the water, but you want to be heating up your bowl. And this way we can pasteurize our egg yolks and add our sugar. And then we're going to whisk this until we get, what temp, you wrote that temp down. I'm always forget. At least you want to get to like 160, 165 on here to pasteurize. I'm remembering days where you can even go higher than that, and that can affect kind of how fluffy it'll be in the end. And then Italian meringue, 165, yeah, let's
160.
Go 160, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Italian meringue, you will actually want to add in a sugar syrup. So you melt sugar and water together, have the mixer going as you whisk together the egg whites, and you slowly drizzle in that hot syrup. And then Italian meringue is the stiffest. I would say Italian meringue is almost like marshmallowy. It's very fluffy. Do you have to take an exam all about the meringues in pastry school? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's a whole thing. Did I have meringue flashcards? Yes, I did. I actually do think I still have somewhere. We're going to have to look those up. I'm going to whip this together. And I feel my pot getting warmer. And then this is the fun part, because this is the boozy part. We got a little port wine here. I love me a port wine. I'm a sweet cocktail kind of girl. I don't know why. I used to have a lot of shame about it. I'm a pastry chef. Why wouldn't I like sweet cocktails? The more fruit salad is on top of a cocktail when it's served, the more I know I'm going to like it. I like me a sweet cocktail. Port is really like a beautiful sweet wine that hails from Portugal. Portuguese and Spaniards really came to all throughout South America a lot and left some of their influences and obviously their language, as Brazil, you speak Portuguese. So that's kind of where this influence of the port is. And the port is going to add some flavor here. We're going to add a little bit in, just straight. But a very common way to do this is to actually, like that Italian meringue, take this and cook it down and reduce it by half. And then you get a hot port syrup that you actually pour into your meringue and mix it up. So there's different types of ways to do it. As always, we want to respect the cultures that we represent here at Homemade when we're doing recipes, and our recipes are always kind of just an inspiration from traditional ones, not exact ones. So if anyone does have experience making this, please let us know. We love to hear from you. And then we're going to end it with just a little bit of vanilla to it as well. So port, vanilla, caramel custard. This is all good stuff. Yum, 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 yum. In case some of us are joining a little late as I'm just whisking these eggs together, I do want to point you to, again, our friends at Savor who are representing this, making this class happen today. We love them so much. They have an incredible website, savorrecipes.com. As we're going into summer, lots of great ways to use dairy in your summer recipes. Meg and I visibly let out when we saw, because we were looking at the recipes on there, they have a dulce de leche cookie, no churn ice cream. Yeah, all good words. So gotta check that out, because that's like our next recipe that we're making. All right. So I've got my egg whites here. You do have to mix them the whole time because you want to make sure that they don't coagulate. And then I'm just going to wipe off the bottom of my bowl. Make sure you temp them. And then we're going to add in, start on low. Start mixing it up. I'm going to walk away now, just so your ears don't get blown out by the mixer. What helps give you a little insurance policy is a little acid. The acid will strengthen up your egg whites. I just had a lemon here, so I'm using lemon. The most common ingredient to do this is cream and tartar. We all know cream and tartar is a thing when you're buying it at the store and you pause and you go, do I have this? I don't think we have this. And you buy it and you go home. You actually have 4 containers of it already. That's cream of tartar. It's actually powdered acid left over from the winemaking process. So they just take it, powder it, and it really can stabilize meringue. Oh my gosh, I don't want to brag, but it looks like my egg whites are beating up. This is huge. I want to thank my parents, all my culinary instructors, you know who you are. Chef Meg for giving me emotional support as I was separating these eggs before class. Oh, we're looking beautiful here. Can I just show you this as we do a top down here? Look at that. Can you see the sheeny? Are they sheeny? Oh, okay. We're going to now add in our little vanilla bean paste here and start mixing, and then just stream in a little bit of our port. If you need to taste test it, do what you got to do. And that's just going to give, I'm trying to stay away so I don't. Oh, and it's giving it a nice little pinkish hue, so it's really beautiful. And you can add as little or as much. I would say if you're adding straight port like we are right now, just be careful of how much moisture you add to it, because if you add too much water, it can actually make it a little soupy. And then, what? Do you see that little peak there? Let's see. This is how you tell little soft peaks here. Do you see that? I got a little peak. Let me see here. Can we get this on the camera? Oh, there it is. Do you see that little peak over? That's a soft peak. If it all went straight up like ice cream concrete, then you have stiff peaks. So this is perfect for piping. I may be going to do about 30 seconds more, and then we're going to have a party. Yum, 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 yum. I mean, honestly, if you just want to eat port meringue, you live your life, all right? A little scoop here. Love it. Do not put this in the sink. Like, you know what to do with this. Don't you dare rinse this all off. That is good stuff. I'm just gonna wipe my hands a little bit. And then we are going to put this in the little piping bag. Now, do you have to do a piping bag? No. But this is such a cute dessert, and the way it's served is usually piped on. So we're gonna do a little extra. Little tip for y'all. A drinking glass can hold your piping bag, and if you pull it over, it's easier to fill. And that way you don't get it all over your hand. A common thing that happens when filling piping bags. So I'm just gonna get some of this. Oh yeah, you can smell the port. It smells great. This beautiful, glossy, sheeny meringue. Do we call Oxford Dictionary? How do we copyright sheeny? It's gonna be the word of 2024. You'll see, it's gonna catch on. So we actually put our first custard in a serving platter. That's good enough for a nice big party or to save room in the fridge. But if you got the room, look at this beautiful little guy. Can you see? We put it in a glass, and you can see it's nice and gelled and thicked up. And we're just gonna make, you can put a little star tip in here. You can put whatever tip you want. You put as much or little meringue as you want, but there's port in here, remember that. Oh, come on, that's a party. Now you can make these ahead of time, the custard 100%, 1 or 2 days ahead. I would definitely probably do it the day before. I think that's, for flavor-wise and consistency, that's the best, is to do it the day before. Meringue is one of those things you have to do to serve. But you can separate your eggs ahead of time and have your egg whites done the day before. You can have your sugar measured out. You can have everything ready, even your piping bag. But I wouldn't mix it until you're ready to serve. So cheers to you all. I'm very excited to try this. I can't wait. Oh, look, can we even, I mean, do you see that spoonful? Yeah. Caramel, good. Meringue, good. No notes. Other than this is absolutely going to be my dinner. I have zero regrets about it. I don't know why, but adding that cinnamon, well, I do know cinnamon's delicious. Just having cinnamon and a lemon pill and that custard. Oh, it's like up here. It's so much more complex, that flavor. And that meringue with the port is adding this fruity sweetness to it. 1,000%. It's a perfect dessert. You want to add a little crunch, you can stick a cookie in there. Perfect, would be nice, little crispy. A little toffee on top if you want that texture. Starting to get berries around, a little berries on top would be lovely as well. Oh, I gotta go, I gotta finish this. We gotta wrap up, Chef May.
I have one last thing to say.
Please.
Sheeny is a word.
It is!
So you were right. And you're very smart and intelligent.
I think you can all tell, those of you who've watched these classes before, I was no English major, so I don't read so good. So that's great to hear. That's a win. I'm gonna float on that for the rest of the day. Sheeny's a word. Suspiro Limeño is delicious. We are so appreciative to represent this dessert from Lima, and we hope you did you proud. Chef Meg, I appreciate you. Thank you for this ride today. And thank you to the wonderful people at Savor. Again, savorrecipes.com, at Savor Recipes. They're the best. Check them out. Most importantly, thank you, homemakers, for joining this ride today. An amazing, fun, delicious dessert that we hope you all make, and tag us if you make it, if you put a picture on social, because we love to see it. If you had a good time, want to come back, Thursday, June 6th, this Thursday, we are doing happy hour bites. Yes, also 3 incredible words. So we hope you guys come and join us for that. Till we see you next time, homemakers, keep on cooking. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.